Carolyn from Livingstone's Church, and we're shining a spotlight on Homes for Tracy today.
My name is Clara Ross. I am the CEO, founder of Homes for Tracy, a not-for-profit that's transitional program and ministry for homeless women and children. This was my journey at one time. I was abused as a child, and I remember saying to myself that I wanted to create a home where kids could be safe and they could be heard. The other phase was I was homeless myself with my 4 children. I had no family support. With a special needs child, unfortunately, because he had a seizure disorder, nobody wanted him in their home to take care of him because they didn't want to take on the medical responsibility of his seizures, which he was having up to 70 days sometimes. So I can understand, but it wasn't for anyone to do it for me. It was for me to do myself. And with that, all I needed was a hand up. I didn't need a handout. That is the whole point of Home for Tracy. All I'm doing is just taking care of women who are like me, who need a hand up and not a handout. They just need a simple lift, a simple launch. And I tell women, this is a pit stop. This is not a rest stop. You're not supposed to rest here. You're not supposed to be comfortable here. I want you to find yourself here. I want this to be a home and not a house. But at the same time, while you're here, discover who you are. And also in that self-discovery, find out what part of your homelessness was brought on by your actions, words, and deeds, and your intentions. Because if you don't change your intentions, then you will begin to repeat the pattern. Tracy was an actual person, and she's my muse. Tracy was a homeless woman that unfortunately died to the streets. And all she wanted was to get a home and get her 4 children back. That's all she wanted. And from time to time, she stayed with me, and she just couldn't quite pull it together. There was times where she was victorious because she had a substance abuse problem, and she had a little bit of mental illness too. And I had talked her into going to Ivy Tech, and she had even gotten on the dean's list. But unfortunately, Tracy had kryptonite too. And that kryptonite is part of what took her life. And so when I had initially started about getting a home for women, talked to Tracy about it, she looked at me and she laughed at me. Oh, wow. And she's like, because my initial thing was to get a home in which women can come and they could stay a week and then get their hair done and get a new outfit. And she literally laughed at me. And I felt some kind of way about it. I'm like, why are you laughing? She goes, they would just take advantage of you. That's not how it works. You have no idea how real homelessness works, because one of the things I didn't emphasize in my homelessness, I was only homeless for 3 weeks. It wasn't a full month. It wasn't some of these women's journey who've been out here for years. It was only 3 weeks, but it was enough to singe me. It singed my soul. She's told me what it's really like to be a homeless woman. And my mouth just flew open, because I did not realize the horrific things a woman had to go through to be homeless out here in St. Joe County. You hear about this in California, you hear about this in Detroit and big cities. You don't think this kind of things would happen to women here in South Bend. And when she opened up my eyes, I've got to honor her. I've got to honor her, because she tried so hard, but she didn't have a support system. She didn't have a Homes for Tracy in place to help her rethink, reboot her thinking and her mindset. Right. We missed it for her. Yes, she stayed in my home, but it wasn't enough. She needed a village. She needed a village to remind her and hold her accountable for who she really was, what her reality really was. That it wasn't the fog. It wasn't real. Right. And this had to change. We missed it for her. I don't want to miss it for the next woman. When the women move here, they have to do a couple of things. There's rules they have to abide by. They have to work on their budgeting. They have to work on their credit. They have to work on their life skills and financial literacy. So there's some of the things they have to do while they're here. Also, because it is a program, it's only 9 months long. which is the equivalent of to give birth to a new them. I make them acknowledge, what did you do wrong? I didn't pay my rent. Okay, why not? They go, and then they explain the reasons. And I go, so where's the priority in that? I make them self-reflect. Because if you always do what you always did, you'll always get what you always got. I don't ask them to be the best me. I ask them to be the best version of themselves. So it's not for me to decide where their journey ends. For some of them, they want to be a homeowner. For some, they just want an apartment. For some, they actually want a house. For those who want a house, I go, let's dream then. If you can't dream it, you can't get it. And it's about hanging on to it, no matter what it looks like, and not get distracted by these little things. And this is one of the things I want to emphasize. This is their journey. The whole point of the program initially that I would like, but it's not my journey, it's theirs, is to take them from homelessness to home ownership. And gladly I can say I've had 2 women who have been successful in that area, who now own homes. This house is like any other house. It always needs the basic things like toilet paper, it needs dish soap, it needs detergent, anything also that a woman can start her own house with. Sure. So one of the things that I desire is when she leaves here, that to give her things to move on to her next place. And one of the things I would like to get a van in which I can take the children and the family somewhere. One of the things I want them to do, I want them to experience things that are out of their elements. You know what I'm saying? I want to take them to Tiffany. I want to take them, and then I want to expand their lives. I am several things when these women meet me. I am the mother figure, I'm the counselor, and I'm the dragon. And I tell them right away, when you come into the household, this is what you're going to encounter. I'm not for everybody, and I live here too. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but I am 100% your cheerleader, your advocate. I want the best for you, and I will only see the best in you, and I will not accept anything less. And I even tell them, you will not speak against my friend in my presence. You will not speak against yourself in my presence, because you're my friend. That's a little bit of the dragon. I will not allow you to do that. And they always kind of look down a little bit. No, you're only going to see who you are. And when I say, queen, straighten up your crown, that's my code language for her. Whether we're out in public or here in the house, she knows what that means. Rethink your actions. Because things are black and white. Will it bring you closer to your own home and you being free from this? Will it draw you away from it? Every decision you make will either get you closer or away from your own dream. When I started this initially, I wanted 4 houses on 4 sides of town. Some people get along better than others in a household, you know. And I have to proudly say I've never had a police call. I've never had an ambulance run. Well, I pick and choose very carefully who lives here. Right. And their personalities have to be harmonious with the household. And it also has to be, does she fit the mold of the woman who is on her own journey and we're just assisting her. Right. And actually, to be quite honest, I'm just in awe as anybody else. Because it's like when you show them a fishing pole. Sure. And then you show them how to use a fishing pole. Right. And then they catch that first fish. When she gets her first resource, or her credit goes up just a little bit, or she gets that job, or she begins to start her own kind of income strand that she didn't know she could do, that's exciting within herself. Right. So then she knows that she doesn't have to repeat the pattern of her past. If you don't change your mind, and you don't change your heart, this won't change. Idea, dream, goal. Win!